Yeah, man. Abominable Snowman battling the Wolfman, and there's witches and warlocks and a lot of bloodshed and all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, that is one of the Blu-rays on this collection, the Paul Naschy collection, number two. I've had this a while. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it. Is it five? Yeah, five movies. I was going to talk about the collection as a whole, but I think, I'm probably going to go in here and I'm probably going to go through each movie, maybe once a month. Yeah, I dig Paul Naschy, man, and a lot of it, quite honestly, is nostalgia because when I was a young kid in Philadelphia watching UHF TV, two movies were rotated fairly regularly: Frankenstein's Bloody Terror and Assignment Terror, which were two of Naschy movies with the Wolfman, Waldemar Danisky. And it stuck with me and it followed me through the VHS days. That's when I first saw the really wacky movie Night of the Howling Beast on Super Video. Super Video was actually Independent International, which was the good people, Sam Sherman, and with director Al Adamson, put out a lot of wild movies, including one of the worst movies I ever saw in my life, Brain of Blood, that actually played on a drive-in New York. They brought that damn movie back, but they double featured it with Dracula versus Frankenstein, which I think I saw maybe 63,000 times because it just played over and over and over and over and over again on UHF TV, morning, noon, night, etc., weekends, weekdays, whatever. And that movie made a lot of money when Independent International became Super Video. And for $59, they were selling copies of their library, the old II library, which also included Paul Naschy's House of the Psychotic Women. Night of the Howling Beast, I don't know why they changed the name. It's a cool name, but doesn't, Werewolf and the Yeti, Werewolf versus the Yeti, Werewolf meets the Yeti, whatever you want to call it. Nobody knew what the hell a Yeti was, so I guess you could call it Bigfoot, but, it wasn't Bigfoot, it was the Abominable Snowman. But Night of the Howling Beast is what they went with. And I don't know if it made money theatrically in the drive-in circuit. I would assume it made some bucks because, Independent International knew what it was doing. They knew how to book these type of movies. The VHS tape, that sold really well. Now, if you notice, I haven't really spent too much time talking about the plot because there's like 97 million reviews of this movie out there, man. You're not going to run short on seeing people talking about what happens. Hey, the plot, it's exactly what you get. Naschy's running around, he's cursed again as a werewolf, and at the end of the movie, he's got to fight the Yeti. But only after I think he overthrows a warlord or something like that. Look, I've seen the movie maybe 5 times, 6 times over the past 40 years, and I can't even keep the details of the plot straight because you don't really watch it for the plot. You kind of like this, and then you wake up when some really crazy action scene or a werewolf hops out or their fight breaks out or whatever. But, I did not see it in 1975, obviously. I was too young to go to the drive-ins to go see it. But it was one of those weird films that you would walk in and, you didn't really know what to expect. You didn't really have, definitely didn't have the internet, and, you had newsletters and all that, but, I didn't discover those until towards the late 80s. But Night of the Howling Beast, you'd walk in and you would go to the horror section in the VHS shops, and a lot of stuff from the past was dumped. Like a lot of grindhouse and drive-in movies got a second life and a second chance at making some bucks by getting tossed out there on television. On television, yeah, but also on the VHS market. Some of these movies did not air on TV, or if they did, they just didn't air in Philadelphia, like Fury of the Wolfman. I got to see that worst Naschy film of them all. Awful. And the picture quality was a nightmare. That used to play in New York at 2 in the morning, and I would, in the Philadelphia, TV guide, you could pick up New York channels, like depending upon where you lived and how big the antenna was. So, they would actually list Channel 5, Channel 9. And at night you would get some Naschy movies. And there were some other Naschy movies that aired on TV, like Dracula's Great Love, and what else? Maybe House of the Psychotic. I don't think House of the Psychotic Women appeared. But Yeah, man. I mean, you never knew what you were going to get when you walked into a video store. You kind of knew what the new releases were, and if you gravitated to the horror section, you would see some really strange stuff that for all I knew, this stuff had never been released theatrically. It's just nobody in their right mind would put it out in theaters. Well, I was wrong. Most of those movies did play in drive-ins. Some of them might not have hit Philadelphia. Some of them surprisingly hit the local area. But when you would see that video with that painted crazy werewolf, it kind of stuck out, and you saw it, and you read the back, and you kind of had to bring it home for a cheap 99-cent rental to check it out. And today they become boutique videos. Some of the, like, you have Hunchback of the Morgue, Dragonfly for Each Corpse, Devil's Possessed, Exorcism, and Werewolf and the Yeti. Werewolf and the Yeti does not have audio commentary, but Exorcism and Hunchback of the Morgue does. We were going to talk about Hunchback of the Morgue. That's a great film. My favorite Naschy film. I haven't seen it in a long time, so we'll revisit that. Is it still my favorite? We'll find out. I think it pretty much is. It's definitely some of the top stuff. But what's amazing is about during the DVD boom, all these Naschy movies were coming out, and that did not have a legal release in the U.S. Key point: legal release. If you were a fanzine reader, or you're somebody who answered classified ads in the back of some of the semi-mainstream magazines, people would sell VHS copies of private collections, films. I don't know where the hell they got them. I mean, maybe they were theatrical releases that were film chained. Who the hell knows? I have no idea. I mean, some of the stuff was from Laserdisc, but a lot of it was dubious. I don't know where they got it from. But they got it, and it circulated on the underground, like Fulci's The Beyond, which right now is getting a 4K release and is selling an insane number of copies. I mean, really insane number of copies. But let's circling back to Naschy. Werewolf and the Yeti just was that crazy ass movie that it just would grab you, and you just, if you were checking out the exploitation and the horror section, you just couldn't pass it up. It was just too damn weird. I think I might have rented it twice, or did I? No, I got a copy. I think I saw it in the 80s, and then I got another copy of it later. Not his best film, but definitely one of the crazier over-the-top ones. Although I think his most over-the-top one might be, which we talked about before, Dr. Jekyll and the Wolfman. So yeah, I did actually write about Naschy for a mainstream website. You can see the link in the description, and it did surprisingly well. People really liked it. Paul Naschy, Waldemar Danisky, Werewolf, Abominable Snowman. Yeah, man. I mean, there really was nobody like Naschy. I mean, he's got his critics, and the criticisms deserved some spots, but he was definitely. Two other people that were really big were Herschel Gordon Lewis. I mean, in the VHS days, the dumping ground of the horror section, and Andy Milligan. Naschy stuff, in my opinion, 64 million trillion% better than what those guys put out. Not the trash number, put them down. It's just Naschy's movies were professionally done. They were made it was low budget, but they were professional, kind of like something that you would see like late night cable. It's not like a fly by night nickel and dimer where like the H.G. Lewis, the Andy Milligan stuff. Yeah, they were real cheap. At Naschy and those guys are also, they're still making money these days. I mean, there's still a fan base for it. There's still an audience for it, and hopefully that'll persevere for many more years to come. Werewolves fighting abominable snowmen, I just don't see it ever going out of style.